Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So I just want to say, quick note, these weeklies and potentially the monthlies might be coming back, but we'll see about that. These will be going behind a paywall on YouTube as a membership. So stay tuned for that. I just want to give you plenty of time. Want to give you a heads up so that nobody's blindsided by it and they're all kind of aware. Don't worry, they're going to be super affordable. It's going to be like the same price as a coffee basically, so give or take, right? So just keep, stay tuned for that. I just want you to be aware so that you're all in the know. And yeah, remember I said that there would be a lot of changes coming to Radiant Reality. That is one of them. I promise there are others that I think you are absolutely going to love, and I'm really excited to share with you, but it's all a process, unfortunately, and trust me when I tell you, nobody's more impatient than I am. So I've been chomping at the bit trying to get all of this ready for you. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you all, or should I say us, on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So Moonchild, my lunar brothers and sisters, let's see what's going on for you. All right, for your action, your key to the week. Right, so for your key to the week this week, you have the Moon card. So Moonchild has the Moon card. So the moon is your past, right? It does, usually the moon card will show up, it represents the past. It can be where our rose-tinted glasses are starting to finally come off, where we're seeing things sort of exactly as they are as opposed to how we would like them to be. It is a somewhat confusing and sometimes nebulous energy, right? Because it's not necessarily that we're seeing things as, like when we see something through the guise of the moon, we're not seeing it really clear, right? And sometimes, the beauty of this is that we're living by instinct. And usually when you trust your instincts, really trust your instincts, not weave your desires into your vision, but when you really trust your instincts, they usually steer you right? I would never forget when I was like 17, my first ever driving instructor, or my second driving instructor actually, the first one was evil, but the second, his name was Ronnie. And I loved that dude so much. He was like a old Jamaican guy. So he was South Asian Jamaican. And he always used to say to me, like, if I went to make a move that was like a mistake, he would tap me on my hand and he'd say to me, "What was your first instinct?" And I'd be like, "It was this." And he'd be like, "Exactly. Why didn't you follow that?" And he always said to me, "Your first instinct is usually the one that's bang on." You are a Cancerian, so your intuition and your instinct are always on point. That gut center, right? When a Cancer says to you, "I feel it in my gut," listen to what they're telling you because they are usually spot on. Now, that being said, in all of these different areas of life, the past is going to come up in some way, shape or form. For your actions and options, okay. So this is your deep past, right? The Judgment card, anything up to and including 20 plus years ago, right? Your actions, this is about what you do. So you are bringing your past to light or to life in some way, shape or form. It's also very possible that some action step that you take this week is literally geared towards closing out a long cycle or chapter in your life. This could be where you're literally saying, right, it's time to rewrite this chapter of my life. That can be anything from getting rid of clothes right through to burning old journals, getting rid of old pictures, going to therapy to work on that thing that you never talk about to anybody, all of that kind of stuff. This could be a powerful and very cathartic week if you are willing to do the work. For the options that are available to you, I would not be surprised if this week you have a blast from the past in the form of a person that absolutely gobsmacks you. Like, you could be really surprised, like, okay, never thought I would run into you, and here of all places. For your communications and conversations, you've got the 9 of Wands. So first things first, the moon card is number 18. 1 and 8 gives you 9. You've got the 9 of wands. 2 nines represents receipts. Well, what is a receipt? It's an account of something from the past, right? So again, we've got this message. Now, one of the things with the 9 of wands, this can speak to things like PTSD, you know, trauma sort of bonds or things from our past, etc. Sometimes it can literally show up to say you made it, but you need to acknowledge the scars that you've gained along the way to being okay, right? Now, in terms of your communications, this week it does look like a lot of you are talking about something that might be really hard for you to talk about. It might be something from your past that comes up around work, your profession, in work or your profession. Maybe you divulge something this week that you haven't ever before, and I gotta say, I think you're going to feel great for sharing it, even if that feels a little bit vulnerable. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, maybe the subject material or matter, maybe you're looking over your timetable for the new year and you see that like straight away there's something that for you could be quite triggering, and you're like, shit, you know, like now that I've seen this, I'm like sweating a little bit, and I realize very quickly I'm not actually over this. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, there could be a situation that arises that reminds you of something from your personal deep past, right? Going right back to and including, if you're old enough, like 20 years ago. And this could be something that you really like, oh my God, like I really thought I dealt with this, or I didn't think it was that big a deal, right? Now, for those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, it's very possible that in your business this week, you might be realizing very quickly the clients that trigger you, the business that you want, the business that you don't want, the people that you want, the people that you don't want, and maybe you start drawing some very clear boundaries. In order to do that, you will need to kind of admit that there's not a problem, but there's a glitch, right? There's something in you from the past that triggers something in you that needs to be dealt with now. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, honestly, I feel like if you're retired and you're not working, and even for those of you that are business owners, actually, I feel like this is probably going to come because somebody else opens up this wound. It's not that you do it yourself, it's that somebody else opens this up, and therefore it kind of thrusts you into having to deal with it, whether you want to or not, whether you're ready or not. It's like you just have to kind of go in and say, okay, this is where I'm at, and shit, I wasn't expecting this, but now that I'm here, you know what, let me address it. For your love and relations, you've got the Page of Cups. So Pisces season, what was happening in Pisces season of 2024 for you? What were you working on or towards with your significant other and your partner? Because whatever conversations you were having around that time, whatever things you and your partner were focusing on as a collective, as a unit emotionally, is likely to be coming up once more. Now, when it comes to, oh God, come on, brain. Oh gosh, my brain's gone completely blank. When it comes to those of you that are single, this is possibly somebody that you met or connected with in Pisces season that could just now be coming back around, or maybe, excuse me, maybe you realize very quickly that actually you're into this person and you can't sort of figure out or fathom why. For your money and materials, you've got the Magician card. This is a great card to have in this position because Mercury rules money. Yes, Venus rules value and worth and pleasure and all of those things that come from money. And Jupiter rules, you know, luxury and, you know, the goods and all the rest of it. But truthfully speaking, Mercury is the money planet. The Magician is Mercury. So this week, providing you are willing, and you know what, I heard something recently that really it struck, you know, like when something plucks a chord in you and your whole body vibrates and you're like, yeah, this was a message for me, right? And it was this, I've forgotten his name now, but there's this guy that I've been watching for a while on YouTube. I say a while, just recently, and I really love his stuff. And one of the things that he said was, oh shit, I really want to say his name because I love to give people credit for the things that I talk about that belong to them. But what he said was, when it comes to like abundance and money mindset and stuff, he said you can have whatever it is that you desire. Your job is to rid yourself of the resistance between that desire and you, right? And it looks like this week something from your past is going to rear its head, and this is the key, right? If you transmute this, if you turn that, if you use your magic wisely, this is the key to really earning more money, to creating more financial success and abundance in your life. The Magician card says you've got everything that you need at your disposal to make this happen, but in order to tap into your magic, you got to deal with this shit right here, right? Because this is the stuff that's directly impacting your wealth right now. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, it's going to be this. Remember, Mercury is the mind. The Magician is all about our consciousness. And then when it comes to your home and environment, quite frankly, this is the time where you have to start building the mental construct of what you want your home to be. Home is very important to Cancer people because it is the sign of the home, the hearth, the family, you know, who you live with, how you live there, all of that kind of stuff. So you've got to get busy creating on the mental level or in the mental realm the kind of construct or environment that you want to live in. And this is, you know, when they say like you have to dream it first in order for it to become a reality, right? Nothing exists in a vacuum, right? Like even my water bottle, this is a thought, it's a concept, and it's an object. But before it came into being and was hammered out, or however the bloody hell they make these things nowadays, right? Before it became this, it was a thought. It existed in that imaginal realm, right? And it had to go through all the processes in order to become a tangible thing. Well, the same thing goes for your home. What does the dream home, house, etc. look like to you? What is available to you at the moment? And are you ready to transcend that? Because with this card in this position, you absolutely can. But this is the shit that stands in the way. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.